Everybody, welcome to Phil's Place. And let's welcome William. How do you pronounce your last name? Calesco?
Calesco.
Yes, I thought
You pronounce
so.
it 80% right, Calesco.
And really appreciate you coming on board. We have to thank Trevor Russert for having the two of us meet. I I've been doing all these episodes, William, with people from other countries, and I would have been remiss if I didn't have Brazil included. So I reached out to Trevor and I said, do you know anyone who is very passionate about the Brazilian national team who would be more than happy to come on to my podcast here for this series I'm doing on the World Cup? And then we got to talk to each other a little bit through WhatsApp, and we just talked right now. And now we're ready to go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All
Hi,
right.
nice to meet you,
Okay.
everyone.
It's yes, it's so great to meet you. And I've been having a lot of fun with this. I think my guests have been having a lot of fun with this too. And I can't wait to hear about everything that's taking place with this Brazilian team because I have a lot on my mind with this team, to be honest with you. Um, it's not the same Brazilian team that I remember, with a lot of pep, a lot of enthusiasm. I know they won 5 World Cups, and I know we've got a mixture of the veterans who are very well known and very good, and some young players who are also very good. What's the vibe down there? What's everybody saying about this team?
It's a mix, Philip. We are most of Brazilians are uncertain, right? Because during this way from the last World Cup to this World Cup, Brazil did not play so well, right?
Right,
Uh, we expecting Brazilian to play better because we're not the same Brazil as before, right? You cannot compare this
right,
Brazilian team with the Brazil 2002, 2006, right? We're not full of like prized guys. We are full of stars, of course, but like we only have Vini as one of the best in the world, like was prized as one of the best of the world. But we still have
right.
people that are very important to the clubs, right? And probably they lead those clubs. The clubs are very reliant on them, but they do not perform well in Brazil. Vini Jr. is one of those, right? So Vini Jr. is a
Okay,
guy that will never bench Vini Jr. in Real Madrid, but in his most of his appearance in the Brazilian squad were not that good, right? So it's lacking of something to show the Brazilian guys. So we're expecting him to show something on this World Cup. And of course, because we don't have that very good history before the last World Cup to this World Cup, we are uncertain, right? We still have our hopes up because we're Brazilians. We will never forget that. So always have
right,
to
right.
cherish and support our club, our team, right? But this is it, right? We are hoping that Brazilian gets at least to the finals, right? This is going to be very hard, especially with the matches that Brazil can have if Brazil passes in first. There's going to be a lot of good teams to play against, right? For example, we can have Netherlands, right?
Yep.
Right on the first match of the eliminatories,
And the round of
and then
32.
England, yes, and then can be in England, then can be France in semifinals. Everything can happen, but the Brazilian way, especially on this side of the of the cup, right? So they have two sides, so they have these keys with those groups and these groups. So especially on the Brazilian is very very difficult, right?
Yeah.
We're expecting to get Argentina because this is their relay that the Brazilians
Oh,
always are expecting to play against it.
oh
But
my.
even though getting Brazilian, we are worried, right? Because we know today, as the football presents itself, Argentina is playing way better than Brazil, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we're mixed, hopeful, but mixed, right? So
right. I've paid attention to both Brazil and Argentina. Um, I am 56 years old, and it was in the late 70s that Pele was playing in America, and these games were being broadcasted on ABC's Wide
or
World of
Cosmos,
Sports.
right?
Yes, the New York Cosmos. And that was my introduction to Pele. And being the youngest of my family, I have older siblings, in laws, neighbors who we're talking about how great Pele was. So I took to him right away, to be honest with you. And it was in 1979 when I first started playing football, playing soccer. Um, and then it elevated in 1986 because that was the first year that ESPN broadcasted the World Cup. So then there was Diego Maradona in Argentina,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously they won the World Cup that year. And so those are two of, I'd say, four or five international teams I gravitate towards, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm always expecting Brazil to have a strong showing myself, to be honest with you. I always expect Argentina to have a strong showing. England, Spain,
Yeah.
Germany, the Netherlands. These are teams
Yeah.
that I pretty much follow fairly closely. So it's going to be. We're going to get into the predictor, by the way.
Yeah.
We're going to. I will do some screen sharing, and I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over the Brazilian roster, and I have it
Mm-hmm.
up right here. I'm going to do a screen share. So I'm going to
Yeah.
pull this
Phil,
up.
can I add
Yes.
something just before you can share, but can I add something just for your comment because you told me that you started watching ESPN the first time you broadcast it was 86, the World Cup in 86,
Yes.
which
Yes.
for us like Argentina won, but 86 was known in Brazilian in for us Brazilians as one of the most brilliant Brazilian squads ever, right?
Okay.
That World Cup, we get away from that World Cup with no losses, right? Because the only time that when we got eliminated, it was a 1-1, right? And then we were eliminated in penalties, right? But
Okay.
Brazilian was
Yeah.
playing the best soccer ever. We had like very good stars. We got Zico, Socrates, Falcão all playing together. That team, Careca, Alemão, that team was one of the best. The football was amazing, right? And they were coached by Tele Santana, by the
Wow.
way, which was one of the biggest coaches in Brazil. Rest in peace, Tele. He's been
Okay.
forever. He's a very important coach for my club as well, São Paulo. We won two
So Pablo,
World
right.
Cups with São Paulo with Tele. So it's like it's
The
that it
Club
was
World
I
Cup,
think
right?
one of the best World Cups ever to watch. I was born in 1990, so I fortunately I didn't capture that. But all my parents and my uncles they told me like this was the game. There was the finest of soccer was played on that. Argentina was amazing, Brazil was amazing, Italy was amazing.
Right.
They're very
Right.
very good strong teams. You were
Wow.
lucky guys.
I I have to admit I was not aware of that. Because I'm only going on memory with the 86 World Cup. I didn't do any research on the other teams. If anything, I know that 1970 team very well. I think we traded messages about that.
Hmm.
And Netflix has a special they're running on Brazil 1970. It's a show they're doing. And I don't know if that's being shown in Brazil or not. And if
Yes,
it's
of course.
accurate, I have a feeling it's somewhat accurate. Okay. Yeah. And they, all these shows have to have added drama, so I don't know if some of that added drama was real drama or if that's just for the entertainment purposes of
Yeah,
broadcasting, a show or a series on a major streaming platform like Netflix.
sure,
um
of course.
but it's I think it's okay. I've been watching it. I like it. And I knew that history before I knew that Netflix was doing a series on Brazil 70. So for anyone who might be watching or be watching this later, I do recommend it. It goes a lot into Pele's personal life and some of these other personal lives and stuff like that. And I learned more about Pele by watching this. And again, I said
Yes.
earlier, he's one of my all-time idols. So, okay, we're going to do a share screen, and it's going to be the World Cup guide. Let me know if you can see this.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. I thought this would be the best way to talk about the roster. Okay. And we're going to start top to bottom. We're going to start with the goalkeepers. I know
Mm-hmm.
two of the three very well. I'm a massive Liverpool supporter, so obviously I know Allison. And Man City is a big rival, so obviously I know Ederson. Um, and who do we think will be the number one goalkeeper? Who's going to be the go to here?
I think that's a lot to go for Alisson, right? Just because of the experience and history with the Brazilian squad. Alisson has been on the past two World Cups, right? This is his third. Um,
Right.
I think I think from the experience and what Alisson gives to the group, right, as in terms of leadership, right, and experience in World Cups, probably has a lot we go with him, right.
Hmm.
Personally, I would go with Ederson. I think Ederson is mentally more prepared for this World Cup.
Okay.
Weverton is a very good goalkeeper, right? You don't
Oh
know him
yeah.
because he's been playing in Brazil, right? Probably his entire career. But
Right.
of the last decade, or probably 5 years or so, Weverton was one of the biggest highlight players in Palmeiras, which is the river of São Paulo. Palmeiras has
Okay.
been winning everything in Brazil in the last decade, right? Is the club to
Wow.
watch in Brazil nowadays. Flamengo is now getting better as well in the same level as Palmeiras. They have like very, very good investments. So, if I would say the top two today in Brazil, even though being São Paulino, right, is a person that supports São Paulo, unfortunately, the top two clubs in Brazil are Palmeiras and Flamengo. Hence,
Right.
you have many Flamengo players in this list
There's
of
four.
four, right?
Yeah,
But
I
also
saw
there
that.
there are
That's crazy.
yes, there's four playing in Flamengo right now, and also I think there's more because some other players were formed in Flamengo before going to Europe, right? As Vini
Okay.
Jr., right?
Right.
Um, and so yeah, so that's my like. If I would choose, I would choose Ederson, but I think Ancelotti will go with Alisson. He's showing that Alisson is starting all the games since Ancelotti has gets the Brazilian team to train. So I think he'll go with that.
Okay. Next, we're going to go with the defenders, but I want to ask you this question first. Ancelotti, what formation is he going to be running, do you think?
Uh, he he tried 4-3-3 and 4-4-2, right? So he liked to
Okay.
vary those formations during the game, depending on how Brazilian is playing and who's Brazilian is playing with. But Ancelotti is being known by being like a chameleon, right? He really transforms the team as the match goes, right?
Right. Right.
We haven't saw that in Ancelotti in the Brazilian squad just yet because the guy just had 4 games to train the national team, right? I
Right.
think we're gonna see more of that chameleon stuff from Ancelotti after the World Cup, right? I don't think he's going to do any crazy changes during the World Cup.
Right.
But I think he will start with the 4-3-3, and then as the game evolves, they can just take one defender off and do or on midfielders and his 4-4-2. He will change depending on if he wants the Brazilian to defend or to attack, right?
Well, you have to adjust,
Yeah,
let's just use an example. Round of 32, no matter who they're playing, it's going to be, likely it'll be a strong team. And there's going to have to be adjustments made,
yeah,
halftime. You might have to come up with a different formation. You might have to just disguise your formation, which
yeah,
I know gets done all the time. So I'll be curious to see how Ancelotti
yeah.
handles that.
Most of the teams they have very good players as midfielders, and it's part of the tactic is to populate the midfield, right? Where
Hmm.
you can distribute the ball, right?
Right.
So if he decides to get in with a fast transition from defense to offense, I think he will gonna get 4-3-3 because he can attack from the wings.
Right.
However, if he's seeing that he's losing the midfield, he's probably gonna sack one of those attackers and just get Fabinho or get probably Paquetá to compose the midfield to gain that space. Because also, if you gain the midfield, that means you can control the ball. So you have
Right.
the ball under control. So if you have ball under control, we have more chances to get in a good attack, right? Get in a good play because you're having the ball, right? You can
Yeah.
do whatever, but you have to shoot to the goal. Brazilian is missing that. Brazilian is missing getting to the last line and shoot, right? Getting to the last line and
Okay.
shoots. You saw that
Okay.
if you watch the Egyptian match, Brazilian against Egypt, we went to the last part of the field, and then suddenly deciding to move back, move back, move back. So this is I hate this, right? As a Brazilian, I hate this because I wanted you to decide. If you're there, we used to get Ronaldo, Romario. So when you're there, just shoot, right? But
Right, right.
Jesus,
Yes,
and this is
exactly.
happening. Yeah, this is happening to football in total, right? I think the only team that's probably the only two teams that are that decisive is France and Argentina. When they get to the
Right,
attack, they shoot. That's it.
right.
Like from all watching, I can be wrong, but for what I watched, Brazilians different than that. Like he should be shooting more.
I see that a lot as well. Just watching Premier League soccer, Premier League football, where a shot should be had, but they go for a pass, and instead of taking the shot, and that frustrates me.
Oh,
Um,
because
very,
that is that.
if I'm a coach, a manager, I would be, oh my gosh, I'd be yelling, screaming, take the shot.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah, but that's just me. You know,
me too.
okay,
Probably
well,
all the supporters over
probably
there.
everybody,
We
probably
wanted you to
everybody.
try.
With
Jesus,
you,
yeah.
you win based on goals scored, not on style points. So
That's it. How many
that's exactly
games we watch that our team controls the midfield, you control the ball, we have like 80% of the ball, but you lose.
it.
Because that guy has a counter attack, he scored, and you control the ball, you're doing all those passes, but you never shot. So I have
Right.
what does it matter if I have 80% of the control of the ball and I only shot 5 times in the game, while while the team I'm playing against shot 4 times, having done
Right.
just 20%. So yeah, for us as supporters, like this number doesn't match. It doesn't reflect the reality of the game.
Right.
Not today. The game is
Right.
too fast.
It is. I agree. I agree. Well, let's talk about the defenders. If we're going 4-3-3, who are the four that you're seeing here out of the eight that will be getting the start?
I would say Ibanez on one side, and then we go with Gabriel Magalhães, Marquinhos, and probably Danilo on the other side. Danilo is a guy that can do many roles inside the game, right? He
Okay.
started as a defend as a wing, I think it's left wing, and then he became a defender. But he's the guy has going to replace Wesley, right? We
Yeah,
talked
because what
before.
you said, Wesley's
Wesley
injured.
yeah, Wesley was injured, and then Ancelotti decided to call Ederson, which is another midfielder, because
Hmm.
we didn't have too many midfielders, as you can see there. And he has Douglas Santos and Danilo that can do that double job, right? So I
Right.
would say Ibanez, Magalhães, Marquinhos, and Danilo to start.
Okay. Okay. Um, and we're expecting great ball control, speed, effective passing, accurate passing, some very good lob passing from the defenders here, especially on the wing backs.
Hmm.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think Marquinhos. I'm not counting the last game, right, where Marquinhos screw up doing a bad pass back to the goalkeeper. But
Oh,
Marquinhos
yeah.
has that kind of skill, ball control. Magalhães is like a wall, right? So he's playing very well in Arsenal.
Hmm.
Um, and then Danilo is the guy that also controls the ball. He has a very good passing. So I think
Okay.
of course, right, somebody needs to come pick up the ball from the defenders, right? We're not just
Right.
trying to connect defending and attacking, and that's where Bruno Guimarães, and Casemiro play a good role in this team. So midfielders, right? If I were to start a
Hmm.
game, I would start Casemiro and Bruno Guimarães.
Okay.
Just that in the middle to populate it, right?
He has a lot of great experience playing for Manchester United.
Yeah, yeah.
Top shelf football. So, um, something I want to bring up, and we talked about this earlier, is when you look at the ages of these players, Casemiro, 34, Fabinho's already 32. He used to play for Liverpool. Just one of my favorite players that ever played for Liverpool. He was so good. Um, so okay, so your midfielders, you got the six that are shown here. Four are in their 20s still, but this to me isn't being too old. This is all about experience and leadership
It is.
with
It
this
is.
team.
It is. As I told you, right? Bruno and Casemiro, any team that they go, they act like the leader of the team, right? Bruno is
Right.
playing very well at Tottenham, right? He's leading Tottenham in every single stats. Like he's the main guy of Tottenham, I would say today, right? Except the attackers, but he is like the brain behind that engine. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Well, Casemiro, you know from history, Casemiro played very well with Real Madrid, and now did not start that well in Manchester, but as you can see, he's leaving now as like a legend from
Right.
Manchester. So he's playing his finest again,
Mhm.
right? He has very good seasons. So these guys are actually like highlighted on their teams. Like Fabinho had like a very good career. Um, he's not playing in any the stock club worldwide, but still a very good person. And he's very good backstage, right? So to the team as a whole, he's a guy who talks to everybody, and everybody loves him. He provide guidance to the youngers. He has a very good experience with the Brazilian team squad as well.
Okay,
Paquetá and
good.
Danilo Santos are those, and others are those guys that are just joining and getting to learn from those other three. So
Okay.
then I think the average age of the Brazilian squad is about 28 to 30. It's not
That
that
makes
young, it's not
sense.
that
That makes perfect
yeah,
sense.
not
It
that
really
young,
does.
not that old, right?
Right.
So yes,
Right.
really good mix.
Yeah, and this is where I get excited here talking about the forwards, okay? And before we get into Vinny, let's talk about Ryan. This kid had a great season playing in the Premier League, playing for Bournemouth. And
Yeah.
what do you expect from him?
Man, we have high hopes on Ryan, to be
Yeah,
honest. Like
right.
since he was playing from Vasco, Ryan he showed a lot of skills. Like he was like a guy that I'm do not support Vasco, but like Vasco play against São Paulo, and I was like everybody wants to see Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
So he was one of those guys that Brazilian sometimes produce. Oh, every year we produce like good players that we unfortunately sell too soon to the Europe, right? Highland's not
Mm-hmm.
an exception, right? So everybody's watching the Brazilian football, and once those guys arises, they want to take them as soon as they're young because return on investment will be amazing. Hyan is
Right.
not that different. He plays very well. We call this guy is a he's blessed, right? Because he
Okay.
turns to be in the right part of the field at the right time, and the ball just goes to his feet, and he can score. Like in the last game, I think it's he scored, and he was
Okay.
just in a nice spot, right? Because Igor, that wasn't the last game for one game before, not against Egypt, against Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Igor Thiago pressed the defense, and then the goalkeeper tried to shoot the ball away. Ryan just took the ball and he scored an amazing goal.
Right.
Amazing goal. So and he's that kind of guy. And same as Hendrik. Okay, Ryan and Hendrik are very, very close, but I think Ryan is a little bit faster than Hendrik, while Hendrik has more body. Is more like a pusher, right?
Okay.
But also a very good guy inside the area.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and he's 25. That's young for me still. For soccer, for football, any type of level. I don't care if it's international, if it's club or whatever. That's when you're really getting into your true formation.
Yeah,
Um, Having that experience and then the maturity that goes along with it. Um, Rafinha. I mean, come on, he just won another championship with Barcelona in La Liga. Okay, this guy's a
yeah.
stud. He's
Is
a
another
stud.
guy there's another guy that Barcelona might not play so well without him. We already saw this in this season when Rafinha was injured. Barca did not play too well, so
Right.
he's one of the guys that Brazilian squad depends on him to have a good game because sometimes he's going to be the escape valve for us.
Mm-hmm.
When we had pressed, he's a guy that he has dribbling skills. He can possess the ball. He can keep the ball in the attack, and he has a good shot from outside of the area. We rely on him too much, right? So
Right. right. But if you're going this 4-3-3 route, um, with a lot of good choices here to put out there in the starting 11, who are you taking? Who's
I
in
will
your
start.
lineup?
Okay, if I'm going to the sides, I'll put Rafinha on one side, Vini on the other side, and then
Right,
we are in doubt. But who's going to be the number 9, right? We still have
right.
Matheus Cunha is doing a very good championship and season as well. Igor, Thiago, and Hendrik. Those are the three. So we like then you go with your favorites, right? If I
Hmm.
would go with somebody to give them an opportunity to start in the World Cup, I would start with Hendrik, right?
Okay.
And then eventually swapping with Igor Thiago or Matheus Cunha, depending on how Brazilian. If a Brazilian it's showering, we say like we go in and just do this um, from the side, just moving the ball in the air, so you can how do you call it? Right, you passing, right? Passing on the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not a very tall guy. So if the
Right.
game tends to be on that kind of a game that you're just attacking and passing through the air, you have to hit your head. He might get sacked to get Igor Thiago or Matheus Cunha because they are taller. Uh, but inside the area, Hendrik remembers us a little bit of Romario. He's a very opportunist. When the ball's in on his feet, it is very hard for him to miss.
Well,
So
in
I
those
would start with Hendrik
situations,
to have a faster game.
okay. Well, in those situations, when you're talking about lob passing, passes being, going through the air, if it doesn't show Hendrick's actual height, but if he's not as tall, though his athleticism will put him in situations where he can actually step up in front of the defender and be able to, catch the ball with his
Dominate.
chest.
Yes.
Yeah, and then be quick with the feet and get another quick pass out. Um, that's what I would expect from a player like Hendrick in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of that is innate. You're born with that ability, although you have to practice it still going up against bigger guys,
Yeah.
just to have that. If he's physical, then he's not going to have any problems at all whatsoever, you
No,
know.
not at all.
Um,
And
yeah.
if Brazil plays on the counter attack for some reason, Hendrick is a very good player to be there, right? Because he occupies those empty spaces and he's very fast. So if he has to run with Vini Jr., he can easily just run together, right?
Okay.
On one side
Okay.
of the field, they can play very well together.
So all
I'm
these
not saying
guys
Igor
are like,
Thiago. Not saying Igor Thiago is not. Igor Thiago also. If you see his season in Bournemouth, this guy really knows how to play on empty spaces, right? But if I wanted to go
right.
on a faster game, if I have a faster defender, probably I will go Hendrick.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, man.
Can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to watch them play. They play on Saturday, don't they?
It's Saturday. Yes, Saturday. Yes,
Saturday.
it's going to be Saturday. Yeah,
I know. It's coming up, William. It's coming up.
guys, it's right there at the door. Jesus
It
Christ.
is. It
Now
is.
I'm anxious. It is
Well,
on Saturday.
I'll be watching this game. There's no question about that. I can't remember though. I don't have it. I don't have the schedule up.
Morocco.
Oh, that's going to be a
Morocco's.
good match. That's right. Morocco will be
Probably
a
is going to be the
challenge.
most difficult match on that group for us because
Yeah,
we lost against Morocco in the friendly match a couple of years back.
right,
Yeah.
right. And
And probably
I'm
this
gonna
is the
go.
best year of Morocco ever,
Oh,
ever. So they're very strong.
yeah, and surprisingly good 4 years ago. Probably much better this year. That's not going to be an easy match for either team. That could end in a tie, in my opinion. There might only be 1 point being had by both teams. Now, I switched over to the predictor. Can you see the screen, William?
Well, not yet. I only see no. I still see the Brazilian squad.
Okay, all right. So let me play around here and stop the. Okay, now we're back together here. Um, two friendly guys, right? Right. Okay.
Right.
Predictor. I'm sharing the predictor right now, William. Do you see it?
Yeah. Now I see it.
Okay, great. Um, I only started to know how to use the screen share like when I did my
Sorry.
last podcast. I have my two buddies from Ontario, Canada, Tom and his brother David. They're of Croatian descent. They're massive Croatian supporters. So what you're going to see here are who we agreed would move on into the round of 32, round of 16, all the way down.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
we can play around with this. One of my things too. When I had the two guys from England on, Matt and Ion, two good friends of mine actually. I know them personally. I see them once a year. Um, he was talking about, group of death. Trying to identify a group of death, and I told Ian, in my opinion, with this expansion from 32 to 48, having 12 groups, it becomes diluted. So I don't know that there is a true group of death, but there are some difficult groups here.
Yeah.
I think Group C is a very strong. It says right here, right here, it says it's a strong group, and it is.
Yeah.
Um, but I do agree with this order though. Brazil finishing first, beating Scotland. That'll be a good match. Haiti, is a beneficiary of the expansion. Although you really feel for these smaller countries who qualified, they're going to be playing their hearts out. They're going to play so hard. It's just that they're not going to have the talent. They're not going to have that level of ability that's going to match, Haiti, for example, that will match Scotland, that will match Morocco, and
Yeah.
certainly not
Yeah.
match Brazil.
Yeah.
Um, so, but if you're going to take a very strong group, as far as, I don't agree with, this is based on the Telegraph, a London publication. I
Uh-huh.
love the simulator, but I don't know that I would call Group D weak. I think that's a misinterpretation, to be honest with you. I think it's a lot tougher than what they're portraying it to be, because Turkey is a good team.
Yes.
Paraguay is going to be playing a tough brand of football. I understand they're very physical, but they have some very good athletes too. So they're no slouch, to be honest with you. And
Mm-hmm.
the United States, everything that you said about the vibe in Brazil, about how the team will do, we're feeling the same thing in the United States. We truly think that they have the capability to make some noise, but we're not so
Yeah.
sure if they're going to be able to match up well against Turkey and Paraguay. And I don't disagree with USA finishing in third in Group D, but they will advance to the round of 32. So, but those are going to be really, really
Yeah.
good games to watch. And you lived in Australia for 7 years, and I have them finishing last. The Socceroos, um, I just don't know as much about them, but that's another team who's going to come in and play their butts off. They're going to play their asses off for sure, and
They always do. They say this is
they always do.
they always do. They put everything on the field.
Yep.
Pretty much as South Americans, right?
It's
Unfortunately, they don't have enough football to match with Paraguay and Turkey. I think they call it a weak group, but that probably can be the death group, right? Because I would say if Paraguay and Turkey doesn't play that well, he might lose the second to USA. Right? It
right,
will depend on how USA will play. I did not follow
right.
USA this season to be as certain, right? I think going to USA in the third is going to be more uh let's say more certain, right? Australia won goal.
On the
It has to
upside,
be like in a miracle. I won't say a miracle because this is can be like me, telling something bad about Australia team. I don't want to be that kind of
oh,
person, but
that's okay. Right.
I
No, I
think I think
understand.
for the history and what the other teams are playing, Turkey is definitely going to be the first.
Yeah,
But second to fourth, that's still open, right? For me, Paraguay can be the third if USA plays better.
right.
Paraguay is still a strong team.
You know what? We're
Always
going to
performed
move
well.
USA to second. Look at that. I
Yeah,
just made a change. So, and
many
that's going to
teams.
change around the 32 and everything else. And we'll get to that in a couple minutes. But the one thing
Yeah,
I'll say about USA, William, is the upside is 18 of the members of the roster are playing in Europe.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're playing, for good teams, playing against excellent teams, So, um, yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to it. So, and then we don't
And
have to
who
go
who
through every group.
that's fine. Who is the USA coach
It's
today?
actually Mauricio Pochetteli
Pochettino.
or
Yeah. So
Pochettino. Yeah,
you
yeah,
guys get a very
yeah.
good coach this season.
Oh my gosh! And he's leaving after the World Cup. He's been hired by AC Milan.
Yeah. So
And that's okay with us. That's okay with me, because he was kind of like that Band-Aid type of hire. They needed to bring in a strong coach with great experience
well, same as
and
Brazil.
a winning coach. And they got the guy. But, do you blame him for turning down the opportunity to be the head coach at AC Milan? I know
No,
I don't.
especially by being is an Italian, isn't Pochettino?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
especially being an Italian, get an opportunity to coach one of the biggest teams in Italy, if it's not the biggest, right? Because
Right.
there's always Milan and Internazionale and Juventus. So they're
Yep.
the big three, right? So
Right.
why
So,
you cannot say no? And it's also one of the biggest in Europe. Hence, one of
yeah.
the biggest in the world. Milan is one of the most award-winning clubs in the history of the world. Like there is Real Madrid
Oh, for sure.
and
For
Barcelona,
sure.
then we have Milan. So Jesus,
But this isn't going to be just one of those things where for Mauricio that, he has to just do this as a step taken towards coaching AC Milan. He is going to have this team play hard. He wants to win this World Cup. All coaches want to win the world. Everybody wants to win the World Cup, but I think to some of the negative things that were said about Mauricio taking the job, we'll call him Poach, is his nickname, um, is that the World Cup is not a priority for him. And that's so 100% untrue. Anyone who's being that much of an naysayer, the glass is that half empty, I just dismiss those comments, to be
no,
honest with
yeah,
you.
you cannot take those comments serious. This is the biggest event in soccer ever.
Right,
Like
right,
everybody
right,
wants to be there. Everybody wants to win that. This is even
right.
biggest than the Champions League. Come on.
I
It's
know.
even though you're not coaching your own team, right? But Jesus, this is the peak of
This
everything.
is it.
Of course this is the goal to any coach or player out there, right?
And with the
This is
United States
something that
being
you
one of
cannot have in your curriculum. You know what I mean? In your resume.
right,
Jesus
right,
Christ, is there like because you don't play it. If you don't play well in the entire season, you'll not get selected to be in the World Cup. And there's only a
right.
select group of people and a select group of squads out there, and it's even harder than anything else, right?
Yeah,
Because it's just
right,
the best of the best.
right.
Definitely the best of the best. So yeah, I don't
That was
think
well
I
put. Well said. Well said. Well said. You know, let's just go quickly through the group E, the rest of the groups: Germany,
yes.
Ecuador, Ivory Coast, Curacao, Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, Tunisia,
I would change
Belgium.
one thing. I would change
Oh,
Ivory Coast as second and Ecuador as third.
oh, okay.
And there's a
You're you're
reason
you're
why.
you're.
There's a great reason why. Those African teams they play very well. Every
Oh, I know
single
they
World
do.
Cup, there is going to be an African team that as a surprise. We do already have Morocco and Turkey there, right?
Right, right,
However, there's always a good surprise, right? And I remember Ivory Coast from not the past World Cup, from some World Cups ago. They have a very good team with Drogba in their soccer. So I am more fan of Ivory Coast than Ecuador. I would say Ecuador is not playing that well. He lost 4-1 against
right.
Norway. I would say. Um,
Yeah,
so I still have my doubts about Ecuador.
I think you're just trying to stir the South American pot. I'm just joking, of course.
I'll just make
I'm
some
just
enemies.
joking. Yeah. No, but it's legitimate what you're saying. Ivory Coast is, they're obviously going to be very good, and that will be a good match to watch. Ivory Coast and Ecuador, Germany and
Yeah.
Ecuador, Germany, Ivory Coast. So, um, Group F: Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, Tunisia. Group G, Belgium, Egypt, New Zealand, Iran.
Okay.
Now, here's a match I can't wait to watch. Spain versus Uruguay in Group H.
Yeah, that's going to be a very good match to watch. I'm hoping I'm gonna get time to watch this because I'll be working in Brazil and we're gonna be working at the same time that has been televisionized. And
Okay.
but I'll try to make my way to watch those games. This is
Right.
a very good game that I'm expecting to, and also France against Norway in the other group.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Group I. Yep. Can't
Yeah,
wait for that one either. My next guest at 4 o'clock, his name is Jesper. He played soccer here in Pittsburgh at Duquesne University, where I used to work. He's back home in Norway, and he has a lot to say about Norway and how far they could go. And that's going to be a good episode too, just like this one is, you know.
no,
So
nice.
he's fired up. He's fired up.
It is
And
Norway. Norway is probably one of the the surprise that we have here. Norway
yeah,
always been a very bad match for Brazil. To be honest, like
yeah,
we don't have a good history against Norway. In those conference that we get. And did you see those photo shots from the team? They photoshot as a Vikings.
I did. I have that on my phone.
That was very
I
nice.
they
I love
pose
it.
as Vikings, yeah, in a fjord or something like that, Norway. You know, Holland's got his long blonde hair. Um,
Yeah. It's going to be very like we were hyped as Brazilians. We're hyped about those things because we love the how the teams represent themselves, and we love to watch other supporters as well. So they're very hyped this, and then like we're expecting a lot from Norway this in this World Cup.
oh,
It's gonna be
absolutely.
fun to watch.
They're going to be a fun team to watch. We're going to jump down here to the remaining three groups: Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan.
Hmm.
I'm not changing that around. I think that's going to stay true. Um, the Portugal Colombia match will be fun to watch as well. Um, I'm looking forward to that game.
Yeah,
Uzbekistan, again, another country who's going to show up and play with their hearts. They're going to put everything out on the pitch, you know.
yeah,
So they'll be fun to watch too, I think. Group L, the last group, England, Croatia, another tough match.
yeah. And
Um,
Ghana is not
and
weak as well.
Ghana's not a bad team either. Ghana is not bad. Ghana could hypothetically finish in second. You know, I'm concerned about Croatia, the age. You know, they have some older players, but I know they have some younger players too, kind of like Brazil.
Yeah,
Um, but you know, that's not an easy one to predict.
no,
So, and then now we have to pick two teams that will go on to the round of 32, and I'm just going to plop in Paraguay and Ecuador, and then we have to pick match 74. That's going to be Germany. Do you agree?
I agree.
Yeah. Brazil facing Japan is who I have. I
Brazil.
don't know if you've seen that in any other
No,
predictors.
I see Brazil passing Japan.
Okay. But what about Netherlands Morocco? That's going to be a good match.
It is going to be a good match. I want Netherlands to pass because we still got Netherlands here.
Yeah.
We want to win against them.
Right. There you go. There you go.
We want to get
Okay.
back
So
to them.
yeah. France will be Paraguay,
France. Yeah.
Mexico, Ecuador, Mexico, Ecuador. That Mexico's still playing down in Mexico, so
Home
these
yeah,
are all home matches.
home matches and out of Mexico. There's going to be
Yep,
their
me
supporters,
too.
their stadium. There's a different vibe there.
Right. Oh, of course. England, Senegal is going to be England.
Hard match for England though. I will say it's
Although
going
I
to be
agree,
2-1, 1-0. Yeah.
not or it can go to penalties. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. You have to play the game. Turkey will beat Canada.
Turkey will be
Belgium will beat the Czech Republic. Croatia will beat Colombia. Maybe.
maybe. That's the one that
Maybe.
like it's open. It's
You
open.
know what? I'll add to the South American pot. I'll stir it
Oh,
for in favor of Colombia.
yeah, I'll go to Colombia too. To be honest, right? Colombia
My
played really well
apologies
this
to
season.
Thomas Loth and David. This might be
Yeah,
where
I'm sorry, guys.
Croatia, ends their run. Spain and Algeria, that's a no-brainer. It's gonna be Spain.
Yeah.
Okay. Switzerland, Austria, I think it's gonna be
Mm.
Switzerland. That's another team that plays with heart. They show up.
It is, and he's playing very well.
Okay. Now I hope that our friends in Cordoba, Argentina, Valerio and Federico, father son team I had on my podcast, if they happen to be watching, and Valerio might be watching, Argentina, Uruguay.
You guys haven't heard this from me, Argentina.
Yeah, but it's still going to be a good match.
My heart wants to tell Uruguay because I want to be Argentina, away. But I'll go with
It's
Argentina. Very hard match.
uh,
Argentina wins.
yeah, and another hard match for the United States playing Egypt. That's another very good team. They got Mo
Mm.
Salah. I have a Mo Salah jersey sitting right over there behind me. That's my guy.
You wanted to keep your dream on? I'll go for USA, but
Yeah,
it's hard. But let's keep your dream on, right?
yeah. Let's keep it going. I agree, William. Okay, Germany and France, dream match here. I mean, this is going to be fantastic.
It really will be fantastic. But we go for France. France is playing the best football from the past 12 years. Like it's
Yeah,
been like in semifinals and finals consecutively, right? So
they're just
won't
that
be no
good.
different this World Cup. The
They
team
have
is just getting better and better.
half of the PSG roster on that team. Those guys know how to play together. So,
Yeah,
um, okay, now do you see what I'm seeing? Match 91, William.
we need to kick that spirit away, right? The ghost away, because
Right?
we never won against Norway in the World Cup. That's going to be the first time. So I would
Yeah.
say one new Brazil. I'm
Okay.
hoping Norway doesn't score first, because if Norway scores first, they're going to park the bus, and then it's going to be very, very hard for us to,
That
get that.
that backfield is going to have to completely shut down Holland and Odegaard too. Odegaard's going to get some chances. He'll sneak up from
Yeah.
midfield position,
I'll say
for sure.
Bruno Magalhães is knows how to play against Holland, right? Since the
Okay.
history and the England matches. So
Okay.
mm,
Yep.
it's
That
going to
makes
be very
sense.
hard for us. But that match will be decided from who scored first, and I'm hoping Brazil
Right.
scores first.
Right. That's where Vinny comes into play.
Yeah, Vini, Neymar will be
He's
back. So
Yeah. They have to show
Brazil
up. They have
has to
Vinny
show
has
up.
to show up.
Vini has to
I
show
think.
up. He has to play what he has to play to Brazil. The same he's playing in Real Madrid. Otherwise, we are screwed. To be honest,
Yeah.
right? Because
Right.
we're expecting him to play in that way because he can be decisive. He has dribbling, right? He has good shot, good shoot skills.
He's got excellent
Neymar,
skills all around.
yeah, Neymar is a legend, right? Neymar is
Of
just in
course.
another level. So, but Neymar is like injured most of the time. He's not playing very
Exactly.
much from along the years. He is one of the guy that if you put him on the field, we can have like 3 or 4 good plays, good things that he can probably decide the game, right?
Right.
Uh, so that I told you, like this is going to be like we have to score first and then try to administrate the ball, not giving the ball and not giving any corners to Norway because they're very strong at corners. So
Right.
yeah, a very,
Right.
very, very hard match for us.
Oh yeah. Okay. Mexico, England.
Sorry, Mexico guys. England goes.
Being
England,
played at Estadio Azteca.
Yeah,
So they're
but
gonna
that
go home
happens in a
upset.
World Cup, right? Yes.
It does. It does. Okay, Colombia and Spain. I'm sorry, Colombia. I
I'm
can only
sorry,
go
Colombia.
so far.
Yeah,
Turkey and Belgium. This is going to be a good match.
a good match. I wanna get be a surprise for the next round. So I'll go with Turkey.
Okay. Okay. Um, Here, let me go back here. Hold on one
Belgium
second.
does not. Belgium had a very good season in 2014-18.
Right,
But that team now it's been restructured again, right? Those
right.
stars have been moved out, so that's the main reason I'll go with Turkey today.
Yeah, De Bruyne is past his prime, you could say.
Yeah.
Um, who's the other big guy they have? I'm drawing a blank. I can picture him perfectly. He was just playing in Napoli.
Mm, oh, I don't remember the names. We can try to pick it up, but I know Belgium
Yeah,
hasn't played the best from the last years. So
right, right.
I'll try to pick
And
it up Belgium
then
squad.
how did this happen? Okay. Um,
Oh,
let's see
you
here.
dream the dream. How did that happen?
I messed things up here. Okay, here we go. Argentina beating USA.
Yeah, nice.
Switzerland beating Portugal. That's because I switched Turkey around. I had Belgium. I switched to Turkey. That's going to be Portugal. Does this mess up the
Yeah.
others? No.
No, it does not.
Okay, but we have to pick. We have to pick the quarterfinals here. France versus Netherlands. Tough, tough
France,
match. I think
tough, but
Netherlands is
France
better
win.
than what a lot of people expect.
It is,
William, I'm
but it's
going.
still
I'm going
France.
with the Netherlands.
Are you okay?
I'm going.
Let's try.
I'm going with the
Make my
Netherlands.
life
I
easier.
just
Make my life easier. Let's
if we're
suffer in the
okay.
semifinals.
That's great. Then that's great.
Now you
Brazil,
screw me up
England.
because now I'm against Argentina, or Portugal, right? If I go past England, let's go Brazil. Brazil will win against England.
Okay,
I'm expecting Brazil to get to. It's not going to be easy. Brazilian way is not going to be easy. I'm not saying we're going to go score 3-0. That's going to be like very tight scores. But now you screw me
penalties.
up. Now I don't who I want to
I
choose.
you know
I mean, I wanted
that's
to
what the
go with
World Cup
Argentina
does.
because I wanted Brazilian to beat Argentina, right? But if I had my
But
favorite, if you asked me who is your favorite besides Brazil, I would say Portugal, right? But let's go with Argentina, Brazil and Argentina. I want to see that match.
okay,
Every Brazilian
okay.
wants.
That's a Brazil Argentina. Oh,
Yeah. I had to put Brazil in the final, right? Sorry, I'm
okay.
Brazilian. I have to put like this is like to be honest, today the chances, if you're looking for how the teams are playing, I would say Argentina it has 70% of the chances. But like we're Brazilians, I'm not gonna give up. Brazil will wake up and we'll try to beat
Oh,
Argentina any way
and
possible.
are we taking Spain?
Um, man,
Who do you have? Netherlands or Spain?
I would go for Netherlands,
Oh,
right?
okay. And then you got your final. Don't take the Netherlands. Brazil gets this far. They got to win it.
I had to win against Netherlands.
And
As I told you, I have this thing stuck here against Netherlands. Like, we need to get that back to them, right? Nothing
and keep
better
in
than get
mind,
back to them in the final, right?
the first time and the last time that the United States was the host in 1994, who won the World Cup? I know you know the answer to this question.
Brazil. And again,
Of
24
course.
years, right? So Brazil
Yeah,
was 24 years
right.
without winning, and then we had that in US, 1994 we won. So
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
Brazilians, they have these I don't know how to call it, right? But we strongly believe, we have a strong faith and beliefs, right? And when those things they're matching, like having something happen in Brazil, for example, not winning in 6 World Cups, and then having this World Cup in US, Knickers in the final in the basketball, right? So if you take a look, the last 3 times Knickers were in the finals of the basketball, Brazil won, right? Brazil won the
Oh,
World Cup. So there's also that coincidence. So
I know
Brazil won in
1970
Mexico.
being one of those years. Yeah.
Yeah, Brazilian won in
Wow.
Mexico, Brazilian won in United States, and now we have Mexico and United States. So these are things like, oh, it cannot be coincidence. It has to be something. It has to be something.
These
God
are
is
your pieces that you put together and you
This is something
intertwine
we can
it.
hold on, right? For if you wanted to keep the
Yeah.
faith, this is something that gives like, oh, give you some cherish, like, oh yeah, why not,
Oh
right? It
my.
can be possible.
Oh my.
Mm-hmm.
Final thoughts. Final thoughts,
Yes,
William.
I would
Anything else you want
say
to add?
I would say sorry, guys, if I disappoint you not choosing your squad, right? But I'm Brazilian. I had to put Brazilian in the final, even though that is against the odds. Brazilians do not see the Brazil squad as one of the favorites. No one sees today, right? But still, we do have a very strong team. Players that are playing in Brazil, they are the best players on their clubs, right? That is a fact.
Yep.
Or one of the best. I'm not putting everybody in the top shelf, but they are at least part of that group that leads the team, right? But they haven't been playing well for so many years, and one of the reason is a lot of political interference from the Brazilian Confederation of Football.
Right. Right.
If you've been following Brazil, you notice that the president of CBF has been has suffered impeachment and came back. Another guy was in jail for a certain time for bribery.
Ugh.
Uh, and this is like if you watch the 1970s, right, when Brazilian was in a
Yep.
dictatorship that back in time, with the president tried to
Right.
interfere,
Right.
those things is
Right.
still happening in the Brazilian squad. Politicians are
Oh
interfering
boy.
and uh, like this happens not to Brazil but other clubs as well. You still have like good people, good players that are not being selected, not even to the
Yeah.
friendly matches, and you don't know why. We just hope that Ancelotti can put his ideas on the field. He can make the good
Well,
choices. I think Ancelotti will be better because Ancelotti just renewed with the Brazilian team for another season. So I think the next World Cup will be more Ancelotti's face than others.
yeah.
Brazil had like three different or four different coaches during this season. So
Right.
a lot happens, right? There was no time to define how Brazilian plays. Okay, we're playing on how you players used to play on their team, so we're trying to go to the basics and then grow from there, right? So
Yeah.
but we still had high hopes that those the group matches will give us time to get in a Brazilian face to that team, like the standard way to play. So something that we guys can recognize and say, look, yes, this is how Brazil
Well,
should be playing.
the one parallel that we just talked about, Brazil, the 1970 team, the military dictator fired the head coach before the start of the World Cup.
Yeah. That's how much back in time it was very harder because, as you mentioned, we are in a military dictatorship.
Yep.
The guy that started and put Brazil on and of course trained very well Brazil, right? He wasn't a
Right.
coach. He was a reporter, a game reporter.
Yes,
Uh,
exactly. Right. He was a
he was well
reporter,
known, João Saldanha,
and then he got
and
sacked and was replaced
by
because of some of
Zagallo.
the roster moves, because of selection,
He was
is how it
replaced
was
by
portrayed.
Yes, because Saldanha wants to tell the world what's happening in Brazil, right?
Right.
And that didn't go well. Okay, so he didn't. He made the very clear that he will not support the government, and the government won that Brazilian team picturing as propaganda, right?
Yeah. Right.
Um, so then he got sacked, and then they put Zagallo. Zagallo was a monster. Zagallo was like not a monster in a bad guy, but he was like the two-time world champion already.
Okay. Right.
He played with Didi. Didi was the coach of Peru in the 70s. So if you watch the series, you know.
Right.
But Zagallo
Right.
was already two-time champion as a player and as a coach. He coached Brazil in 70s, and then he coached Brazil also in other times. When Brazil was the four-time champion in 1994, he was not the leading coach, but he was one of the coaches. And in 1998, he was the
Right.
leading coach when we lose against France. So Zagallo has been a
Okay.
historical character in the Brazilian team, and is very good as a player and a very good as a very respectful here as a coach as well. He did
Right.
not have any
Right.
any part in taking responsibility of the team. He wasn't like person talking to the president, or somebody needs to pick up the team after what João Saldanha left, right? So yeah, it
Right.
was a very challenge for Zagallo. Even though some players already played with him, right? And back in
Right. Of course.
so he's a yeah, that's it. But he accepted the challenge, and some of the history is true. He and Saldanha were in touch during the World Cup, but Saldanha did not intervene on Zagallo's choices. Zagallo always had that good, strong character as well, and he's very
Hmm.
since he's till he's passed away. He was very attached to the faith, right? So
Right.
also that little scenes that you see Zagallo kissing an angel or whatever, right? That little image, this is the Catholic image. There's a saint, right? He was like always with that saint. He always being that pragmatic, and with the number 13 as well. So he got those
Hmm.
things. So they pictures Zagallo very good in that series.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't finished it yet, so there's still some more episodes for me to watch, but it set the tone for me. You know, it yeah, for those again, if you haven't seen it yet, I do highly recommend Brazil 70 on Netflix. So, and I'm not being paid by Netflix either by promoting this.
Yeah,
So,
come on, Netflix.
they're
Hey,
I know
hey, yeah,
they're getting a free shout out.
where is your World Cup coverage? Come on, guys.
I know, hey, I'm working on it, William. I'm working on it.
Hope you
I'm
get there,
working
man.
on it. Yeah. Hey, thank you very much for coming on. This was great.
Thank you for the
Let me know if you want to do
invitation.
this again. We have to talk about Brazil's progress.
Of course, let's see how Brazil progressing, and I hoping I can join more and more often here as
Oh, you
Brazilian
will be,
until the
especially if they're
finals,
going to the
right?
finals, especially if they're going to the
Of
finals.
course,
Yeah.
of
Well,
course.
you have yourself a great rest of the day, and we
You
will
too, man.
certainly keep in touch. Again, thank you, Trevor, for introducing us. We had a great
Shout
time.
out to Trevor.
Great meeting you, and we'll talk again soon.
Yeah. See you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care. Thank you.
See you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.